Hello.
Hey girl, hey.
I have a question for you.
What's up?
You know, my sense of design is really not cutting it, so I think I need a new YouTube banner, and I was hoping you could help me.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, and then maybe we could make a template that other people
Can download and then they can make their own.
I'm into it. I got a couple questions for you. I'll send them over email and then we'll get it going.
Okay,
Super
see you later.
excited.
Bye.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so today we are talking about how to create dope YouTube art for your channel header. And I'm teaming up with the lovely and talented Lizzie Peirce. You guys definitely have heard of her before. If you haven't, you need to go check out her channel. I've linked it in the description box. She's also linked up here. Fantastic, amazing talent. Just go check her out. So a few weeks ago, Lizzie reached out to me and asked me if I could help her with her channel header. She already has a brand in place. When you look at her videos and you look at her photos, there's obviously a look that she has. So I was super excited to work with her on that. As you guys know, our style is very black and white. We really like that kind of icon look, but it was really fun to design for Lizzie because we went for like a totally different look and we used color, which is exciting. So before we talk about how we did it and what we did, Lizzie, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Lizzie. I am a video producer, editor, photographer. I do a little bit of everything from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I also co-run a creative agency in Toronto with Chris Howe. Some of you might know him. Not Becky's Chris, my Chris. It's very confusing for us. So on my channel, I make vlogs, video and photo tutorials, and the occasional short film. I love traveling, so I just made a short film for my trip to Iceland. So if you're into that kind of thing, maybe it'll be linked up here somewhere, Becky. Anyways, let's move on. Regardless of everything I do that's creative, the one thing that I'm lacking is design sense. I get very confused when it comes to fonts and color schemes and things like that, so naturally I needed some help. And I'm taking my YouTube channel pretty seriously. And the first thing that people see when they come to your channel is the channel art and that big banner and your profile picture, and they want to see that you know what you're doing. So that's why I reached out to Becky to help me with this. I asked Lizzie to send me a Pinterest board. Basically what that is kind of like a mood board of things that she likes, color schemes, fonts, other people's work that she likes. That kind of gives me an idea of where her head is at in terms of style. So I asked Lizzie for a Pinterest board, but I also asked her some questions. It was really fun going through this process with Becky because honestly, it was just me telling her what I like and what I don't like. I didn't want my brand to look too girly. I still wanted it to feel like me and have kind of a boho vibe, but I didn't want it to be super feminine and be mistaken for a wedding business, for example. As far as the fonts go, I wanted something really simple. I wanted to move away from a script font. I wanted to keep with the same theme of my Instagram and the way I've been doing my grading in my YouTube videos, which is very teal and orange and kind of warm tones. So that was all the information I gave Becky, and she took that back and made me a beautiful header. Becky, you take it from here. So her answers kind of gave me an idea of where her head was at in terms of style, color, vibes. If you want more information on how the design process works, how to choose your font, what should go on your header, all of that, you can check out our video on Lizzie's channel. As Becky mentioned, this is a collab video between the both of us. So there's this video, and if you head over to my channel, which will either be maybe here or in the description too, it's a lot about how to formulate those color schemes and those fonts and really develop your own personal brand visually. So if you like that, head over there. With that said, we wanted to make this super easy for you, and Becky, why don't you tell them what we have for them? So Lizzie and I put together a Photoshop file, which basically is like a template for the YouTube header. I'm gonna show you guys how to use that Photoshop file right now. Okay, so we're back here at the computer. I want to give you guys just a little bit of a rundown on this Photoshop file first. Then I'll show you how I created Lizzie's header, and I'll give you guys some tips. So if you haven't yet, download the Photoshop file. It's linked in the description box below, and pop that open in Photoshop. If we head on over to the layers palette here, you're gonna see two layers. You're gonna see a folder, which is where the template is, and then you're gonna see an area for you to put your artwork on. So if I just expand this folder here,
All of the sizes and areas are all there along with the shapes of each section. I actually have grids on this Photoshop file for you guys, so if you hit Command:, it will show those grids if they're not already up. Let's talk about the graphic safe area first. The white box is where you're going to want to keep the most important information of your channel header art. Any text, the parts of the image that you want to see on all platforms, that's going to go inside the white box. The light gray area just outside the graphic safe area is what's going to show on tablet. So you don't want to just cut your image off where the white box is. You're going to want to extend it all the way out to the desktop max. So that way, if you're on a big screen like the one I'm using, you're going to be able to see the entire graphic. And then beyond that, the darkest gray area is what's going to show up on TV. So now that I've given you guys a rundown on the Photoshop file, I'm going to open up Lizzie's file and just kind of give you a rundown on what I've done for her. The first thing I've done for Lizzie's header is picked a photo. We talk a bit more about this in the video that we did on her channel. So Lizzie sent me a high resolution photograph that she wanted to use for the header. The photo isn't quite wide enough for the header, and I'm going to show you what I did to kind of extend that in a minute. I wanted to incorporate the logo and the text that I made for Lizzie in the photo. I didn't want to just overlay it. I kind of wanted it to feel like it was weaved in behind the plants. First thing I did was open up her high resolution image in Photoshop, and I cut her out and created a layer mask. Now, if you guys want to learn how to make a layer mask in Photoshop, let me know. I'll do a full tutorial. I actually think that Lizzie did a tutorial on her channel, so it's up here. So the first thing I did was duplicate the layer. That way I'm gonna have the mask layer and then the background layer. I'm gonna use the pen tool, which is P on my keyboard. I'm gonna zoom right in and I'm going to intricately trace around Lizzie's shape to make the layer mask. Once I'm done, I'm gonna make a selection and then I'm gonna slightly feather that selection and then make a layer mask. Okay, so once I've made that layer mask, I'm gonna just kind of go in and clean it up a little bit. I'm just gonna go in with my black brush here on the layer mask, and I'm just going to take away some of the darker shadows and just feather it in a little bit. Once I have that done, I'm gonna turn my background layer back on. The text we're using is white. It's not gonna read very well on this current background, so I'm just gonna darken it a little bit so you can see it. So I'm gonna change the blending mode of the green layer, and that's gonna allow us to have a little bit of a transparency to see the layer behind, but you're still gonna get that texture. I'm doing this in a separate file, in the high resolution file, in case I ever wanna go back and use that file again. The next thing I'm gonna do is open up a template in Photoshop. I'm gonna just arrange my workspaces so both of the files are open, and I'm basically just gonna select all of the layers, and I'm just gonna drag them over onto the template. You can copy and paste a photo in here. It doesn't have to be this complicated. I'm gonna put the template on top of my artwork, put my guides on so I know kind of a general idea of how big I want my photo to be. Like I said, we wanna keep the main information inside that smallest box. So I wanna make sure I have enough room on top of Lizzie's head to put the logo, the text, and all the things that she required in her header. What I wanna do is incorporate Lizzie's text into the background. So I've created my text in Adobe Illustrator. You can create your own text right in Photoshop. So again, using those layer masks, I'm gonna take away pieces of the type to reveal the plants in the background. Now, you don't have to do this at all. This is just a style I've chosen for Lizzie. You can use a collage of photos, you can use one big photo, you can shoot a custom photo, just make sure you have a lot of room on the sides of your photo to use as that wide background. We really like this photo, so we decided to feather in the sides so that when it shows on wider screens, it has this kind of fluid look and it doesn't just abruptly cut off. I wanted to do a full background for the TV area. This doesn't get seen a lot, but just in case it gets seen, you still want it to look pretty. So you can do a solid color. It doesn't even have to have anything in it. We did a color scheme for Lizzie's branding, and yellow was one of those colors. That's the color we're gonna be using for the background. I kind of played with the tones of the background as well as the blending mode and the opacity. So now I'm going to add in the tagline. Again, I've done this in Illustrator, but you can type it right into Photoshop using the type tool, T on your keyboard. Type in whatever your subhead is, change your font. We talk a little bit about font choices in the other video that we did on Lizzie's channel, so you can check that out. You want to figure out what is the most important information. Her name was the most important on our header, and then the subhead, which said tutorials, short films, and vlogs, that is going to be the second most important information, so that's going to go a little bit smaller below her name. We've added a tag that says new videos every week to let the viewers know that Lizzie puts up a new video every week, so that's what they can expect when they come back to her channel. And I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the header, just below her. Obviously, you can't read this in black. I'm actually going to change the color to white. It's still really difficult to see because her sweater is very light, so I'm actually going to put a box behind that. That's going to switch up the type a little bit, just so it's not all white text on a photo. So I'm going to change the color of that to a lighter color, something from the image. I'm just going to play with that until I'm happy. So now you can read the text a little bit better. And then we are done. So if you don't want to do the overlay thing like I talked about with this one, you can also pick another image and just kind of put it in the background of your layer and just expand it so it covers the whole TV area. I gave Lizzie an option of this map picture I took from her Instagram account and I put that in the background, but we both agreed that the peach one was a better fit for the look of her videos. So a couple more options if your photo isn't wide enough. You can custom shoot a photo that is wide enough. If you know a photographer or you are a photographer, just make sure you get back and compensate for that wide aspect ratio. If you like patterns, you can go ahead and put a repeating pattern there or a texture with some type on it. You could do a collage of photos. That kind of gives you the freedom to put photos wherever you want and use that whole space. So it's up to you. The opportunities are endless. Lots of great inspiration ideas on Pinterest if you want to go check it out. Behance is another website for designers that we use for inspiration, so that's a great one to look at. Guys, so that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this collaboration with Lizzie. She's just too freaking cool. I just love her. We had a lot of fun working on these videos, working on the design work. Lizzie, thank you so much for being on our channel.
Thank you so much for having me in this collab. This was a blast to do.
Tons of fun. Can't wait to hang out in real life. So let me know if there's anything you guys want to learn about design or, you know, YouTube branding, thumbnails, whatever. Let me know. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified when we post new videos. And don't forget to go to Lizzie's channel, subscribe, like, hit the notifications, and all that good stuff. You will not regret it. She's fantastic. Goodbye. Check out Lizzie. You gotta go check out Lizzie. If you don't know who Lizzie is, you really need to go check out Lizzie. Don't forget to check out our other video on Lizzie's channel.
Of course someone's now at my door. Now there's a car alarm going off. I'm just gonna stop this.